Hello, hello, hello. This is 3D or 2D.com's The 3D Show.
It came from the third dimension.
As always, I'm your host, Adolf Vega, and with me is
James Tate.
Put on your 3D glasses now. 3D glasses not included.
And if you're wondering what the 3Ds are in The 3D Show, well, they stand for discussion, debate, and the news. I will not be talking about
Disney ruined Star Wars.
and or
The Bears.
or Bears or
De Beers.
but we will probably talk about
Avengers.
and
Mario.
I do hope you enjoyed the show. The show, get it?
Alright, welcome to episode 52 of the 3D Show. Now, James, we weren't expecting all this news to come up within this week that was recorded, right?
Yeah, we really actually thought that it would be kind of like we'd wait 2 weeks or something, and then we'd make a new show.
And like, as I was editing the 51 episode, all this stuff popped up, and I was like, oh, should we record? And it's like, oh, let's move on. And then more stuff popped up, so we have plenty for a real show. So, what do you want to get started on first?
Okay, how about actually we get started with the Pirates 5 trailer?
Okay, it's a little teaser for Pirates 5, Dead Man Tells No Tales. And basically, Johnny Depp's character is missing, Captain Jack Sparrow. And, that's basically the little bit of that they're trying to find him. And that, what are your feelings about this series?
First one was really good, 2 and 3 were there, and then, third one was terrible, and then fourth one was kind of obnoxious.
Okay, I didn't like the first one, so I didn't care about this franchise from the get-go. I just don't care about this franchise at all. I think I watched the last one, in our theater. But it's been a good minute. It's been, years since the last one came out? Like 6 years or something?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of surprising this is still going on. And it didn't do that well here in the U.S., but it did really well worldwide. So that's why it continues on. And, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not really into pirates, and I just, it's kind of strange looking back too, James. I don't know if you remember this, but Johnny Depp was actually nominated for Best Actor for his portrayal of Jack Sparrow in the first Pirates movie. It's crazy. It's just, if people are like, yeah, he's gonna win that, it just seems insane that now, 5 movies in, that you would, you don't get nominated for Academy Award for bad movies.
Exactly.
And Best Actor is something you really respect, So it's hard to imagine that, But Pirates is coming out 2017, obviously, May 26th, and I don't think it's being filmed in 3D. I think it's going to be post-converted in 3D, but whatever. We shall see. Do you have any thoughts on the little teaser? It was like maybe 30 seconds long.
It was kind of cool because they showed up the villain, who's obviously like a skeleton, and his voice and the actor that portrays him makes him sound very interesting.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's really all, and you don't really see any part of the film except for him showing up. That's it, and saying, "Oh, where's Jack Sparrow?"
Yeah. So it's not much there, but hey, it's going on now. So let's move on here. So we talked about The Lion King last time, getting a live action movie. And now we got another one, Mulan, coming out in 2018. And the actress that will be playing Mulan, it will be a Chinese actress, but they haven't decided whom yet. Okay, first of all, what do you think of Mulan? I've never seen this movie. I just didn't
It was, I've seen it before, or at least I've seen most of it. You know, it's alright. I wouldn't really make a live-action movie out of it, to be honest. And that's really all I have to say about it. Also, why can't they have a white person
You know, it's supposed to actually take place in, I think, China, right?
player? Well,
So-
they like replacing white characters with black people so often. Why don't they just mix it up a little bit?
Just like how they're doing with the other movie, right? With,
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shadow or whatever, right? Ghost in the Shell. But it's supposed to be like a war movie, and it's like, I don't know how you can get away. You can get away with that doing a cartoon, but making that live action may not work for kids as well as they think. So, I don't.
And to me, like, the Disney's Mulan is silly, and, you know, with a cartoon you could illustrate that really well. But in a movie, like a live-action movie, that's a lot harder to do.
Yeah, 'cause it gets really weird, you know, just imagining that and to be a kids movie, you know, are they gonna still have the little talking lizards and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know, is that gonna really work in live action? I mean, actually, you know, if you think about it, a Mulan movie that's actually a serious, you know, hard R-rated movie might work. It might be pretty, you know, cool in that kind of war movie kind of way, but to make it a kids movie, I don't know. I don't think of any kids movies that are war movies, so it's kind of a strange thing to think about.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know.
all right. So what do you want to talk about next?
How do we actually talk about it's the working title. It's not like an official, but Ben Affleck has said that the working title for his Batman standalone film is called The Batman.
Pretty simple. What do you think?
Simple. I don't know if it's calling back to the animated show, because that was the name of the animated series that they had, like running in 2005. It was like the mid-2000s on WB.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a reference to that, but it's been interesting because like usually you just like Batman, you know, Batman.
Well, okay. Remember, Batman was 1989, so they don't want to mix people up and have Batman 2617 or whatever, or 28.
I think the only difference is one letter or one word.
The and you know, okay, that way you have a different title. You know what it is. They don't, you know, put anything in there. They can't do the Dark Knight because there already was a Dark Knight movie. You know, so I think it's pretty safe. I think it's a fine title. You know, I'd rather have this than have the big, you know, Batman, the Revenge of the Fallen, or, you know, subtitles are kind of dumb. I'm just tired of that.
Terrible. Batman Revenge of the Fallen. That'd be like
I just made that up, so whatever.
2, but with Batman.
Yeah, oh, that's what it was, yeah. But you know what I mean? Those subtitles are always stupid. Just keep it what it is, you know?
Yeah, I actually can't stand those subtitles, like on movies in general. I've talked about that before. Like, don't use a subtitle. Like, it's just stupid. Like,
And I agree. It you know, unless you really have a good subtitle, you know, there's no need for it, really. I'd rather have no subtitle than a stupid one, you know?
it can't be like Reloaded or The Revenge or, you know.
So, I'm fine with it. I'm, you know, if that's a real movie name, whatever. You know, I was actually kind of, way back when The Dark Knight originally came out, I was really thinking that Warner Brothers would chicken out and that they wouldn't want to have it that name because, you know, maybe some people wouldn't know that's the next Batman movie. You know, some really, really casual people may not know that. And they may change it. And obviously, after the events of Heath Ledger passing away, tragically, I think everyone knew that was the next Batman movie, and that wasn't in question. But I do, you always worry about executives making the titles sound worse than they are just because, And then you also get the other side of the coin where, like, in Marvel, they're doing their movies and they have their titles from the comics, but it's not really the same adaptation. Comic Civil War for Captain America is pretty different from, Captain America Civil War, the movie.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And it's not that, it's kind of similar, but not really. So it's like, why bother? Why even try to have, copying the same name if it's not going to be the same movie and,
or
going to be different.
Story.
Because there's, significant differences between, the Marvel, movies. Age of Ultron is not the same. It's like maybe 15% the same. So, on the other side, Marvel, well, not really Marvel, but Fox, did have a new name for the next and final Wolverine movie. Hugh Jackman released this picture of the poster for it, which I'm surprised that he was the first person to post that picture. But it's called Logan, and it has like an older hand, and then like the claws coming out, and like a very young hand holding him. Like he's holding hands with a very young, smaller hand, and his hand looks really old. And yeah, that's confirmed to be next year. And Logan, what do you think of that?
So, okay, Logan, or like the reference to that, is a reference to the comics. It's called Old Man Logan. And the story is basically like it takes place in the future, like 50 years into the future when everyone died, and except for Wolverine, of course. And of course, the Fox version will be infinitely more, have a lot less to do because the major villain in the Logan comics is Hulk, an old version of Hulk. So, I don't know. I think that it's just going to be stupid, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong, but, I mean, unless they have, like, Mr. Sinister, I guess, like, an old Wolverine versus Mr. Sinister, that'd be weird.
So, like, yeah, I'm reading up here on, Wikipedia here, and it says that, this is the vast future where supervillains are taking over the U.S.
Yeah.
And, Magneto and Kingpin and Dr. Doom and Red Skull. Red Skull is the president, and they've all taken different sections of the U.S. Now, obviously, Red Skull can't be done in X-Men. They're not even bothering doing Red Skull in the Marvel Cinematic Universe either.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously Kingpin is, MCU with Daredevil, so we can't use him. And like you said, Hulk, Sacramento, California is called Hulk's Land, and there's a Red Hulk, and then he, accepts a job from Hawkeye, which obviously Hawkeye can't be part of it. So the whole story is not really gonna be, it's dramatically gonna be different.
Yeah, it's going to be, like, extremely, like, cut back. That's the reason why I said that they can't really do a Old Man Logan story. And also, if this is going to take place in, like, the future, like the far future when he's old, I guess this really is going to be the last Fox film.
Well, I think they did mention that they want to do a New Mutants movie, and they're getting the ball rolling on that.
I don't know if that's going to be a thing, though. You do have a point, though. Is this, how far into the future is this going to be? Is this going to be one of those things where... if they do make a New Mutants movie, why not make it in the MCU? Like, have it as a reboot?
Well, they could, New Mutants will be in its own little reboot for Fox,
No, but they have to connect it with the MCU. They have to. But that's what everyone wants. That's what the people at Fox want. That's what the people at Marvel want. It's gonna happen.
I want it to happen too, but I'm just thinking that Fox is like, well, I made enough money, you know.
Apocalypse. The thing is that Apocalypse didn't do well, like in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah, it did mediocre, but enough, good enough kind of thing. You know, that is for them, that's successful. You know, but I don't know.
I don't know, but.
You know, it is going to be sad, though, to see Hugh Jackman be Wolverine the last time, you know?
I guess. I mean, to be fair, like, all the movies he's in are not the best. I mean, the Wolverine was good, but other than that.
Yeah. This might be the first Wolverine movie that's actually good.
Hey, the second one was good, too.
It was stupid. They're stupid.
No, but it was good. It was stupid, but it was cool.
So, yeah, they're working on that, and you know, we have talked about this before, that a new version of the Wolverine does exist. You know, are they going to allude to that in this movie? Are they going to kill him off? You know, how is he gonna, you know, can he really kill off?
That old?
Yeah, can he kill off Wolverine? Is it just, you know, is that impossible? I mean,
he died in the comics, and they haven't brought him back for like 5 years now. So
they did say that Patrick Stewart is gonna reprise his role as Dr. Xavier somehow, and he'll be really old in this movie too. So.
Yeah, well, honestly, like, I don't think they're going to do time travel again, so I honestly think that this is going to be the last movie.
I think maybe, I don't know, I think they'll see how things are going, and then I think Deadpool 2 is definitely going to happen one way or another. That made a ton of money, and people really liked it.
Yeah, but that's not the Fox universe, really.
Kind of.
Not really. Deadpool is kind of its own thing.
So, I don't know. It is and it isn't.
You could retcon Deadpool to MCU continuity if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, it's alright. Let's move on. What do you want to talk about next?
What else? What else is there? Is, I don't know. Pick one.
Alright. So, you know, VR is really starting to come together. And not just, you know, PlayStation VR is going to come out a couple days after we record this. And now that, they also said, Facebook said that they're going to try to have an affordable Oculus Rift, you know, come out soon. And that, Google now with the, new phone they announced, the Pixel, they announced a VR daydream adapter to the Pixel. And, it's supposed to be truly cheap, like $60 or something like that. And, you know, it's supposed to run, obviously Android, Google, and, you know, Google themselves are going to be part of, this and the VR future. And, you know, Google and Facebook are some of the biggest companies of the world and the richest companies. So this may be a good sign that it's here to stay. You know, Sony too, you know, this, I think it's going to happen. I think, you know, it might be a slow burn, but I think in 5 years, I think everyone will be talking about VR like it's just the thing. You know, it may take a while because it costs a lot. Even if it's a PlayStation, you know, it costs a lot to put everything together and get but
It does cost a lot of money.
I really do think that, we are on the edge here where VR is really going to start to creep in and people are going to get used to it and prices are going to go down and, I think the cheap VR via phone is going to probably take off a lot faster than the real VR and Oculus and Vine and PlayStation is probably going to help because there's a lot of games on PlayStation, a lot more than everything else. So the drumbeat's going to go on and it's going to, make progress and I think the VR future is a lot brighter than the 3D game future, which is kind of sad because, I love the 3DS and, 3DS is going to have a little bit more support. But, Sony tried to have 3D games on the PS3 and it just didn't go anywhere, So I think once the 3DS is dead officially, I don't know if stereoscopic 3D games are going to really be around again, That's not VR. So
yeah, and augmented reality isn't really the same, and I don't think people are going to think it's as cool when VR takes over.
right now, augmented reality is just kind of silly stuff. It's not really anything too serious. I mean,
I don't think it'll ever be something serious. It'll only be silly.
Silly stuff like Snapchat. Different little filters to make you look like a dog or whatever stupid crap like that,
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go is a cool game. I give it that. But still, it's not like a serious, it doesn't really influence your, I don't know. It's not a game, really,
Yeah.
It's just a kind of a feature that the game has,
I kind of want them to make like a Doom augmented reality.
Yeah, that might be cool.
Like as in you point things around and it creates like a monster, a demon, and then you shoot it.
So, yeah, what do you think of Google coming into the VR?
Cool, sooner the better, because you can use VR for so many things.
Now, here's the thing that's interesting so far. At least so far, Apple has been not interested in doing any of this. A lot of different Google Android running phones can handle VR, but so far I don't know that many things that Apple iPhone can use. So if it does, it's not really well advertised and well known. It's maybe here and there, but it's, Google is really going out and mentioning VR, and so is Samsung and saying, we could do it, so maybe we'll see the next iPhone 7S or 8 or whatever next year really be into that. Who knows? There's a lot of rumors that the next iPhone is going to be like a dramatic different thing because it's going to be like the 10th anniversary and they're going to, just go crazy and put all this stuff in here that people are wanting. I don't know. But let's move on. So Nintendo actually released 2 new colors of the 2DS. Did you read about this?
No.
All right. So Nintendo had a press release recently about the 2DS, and it's kind of a funny little video they attached to it with Luigi, and that apparently Luigi pushed the wrong code in the computer and changed up the colors for the 2DS. So, they kind of blame it on Luigi, and, it's a funny little video. It's kind of stupid, but whatever. Anyway, the 2DS, if you look at it, if you're actually just looking at it at the screen, the color is like a black color, and like the sides are like a color. And now it's reversed, where the sides are a black color and the actual inside is like a color. So, like, it's actually color swapped, and so you can buy a 2DS in blue or red, and it actually looks fine. So, this is not going to be out until November, but whenever they do have it, it's going to come with the Mario Kart 7 for $79.99. And it's still a great deal to getting people into the 3DS, family of systems, whatever that means. But
Yeah.
it doesn't look bad. It's something. And 2DS is one of those things where people that I've heard, they seem to like it. It's because it's cheap. But I think it looks stupid. But whatever.
Yeah.
I like the 3D in the games, and then I like the look of the 3DS, where the look of the 2DS looks like a child's toy more so than the 3DS does. It looks like a, leapfrog toy.
Yeah.
So I just sent you the picture. Do you see it?
Color swap activated.
So, it doesn't look too bad. What do you think?
It looks kind of silly, a little bit. You know what I mean?
You like it more than the original black?
Wouldn't you like a red 3DS?
Yeah. The red glossy red is really good.
Everyone knows that you support the USSR.
Oh, they could have gone and had like an American flag version for like the election.
Yeah, they should.
There you go.
The blue one has the red, white, and blue, and then the other one has the sickle and hammer.
Whatever. All right, let's move on here. So Suicide Squad is going to get an extended edition this fall when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray. And they said that's not the director's cut per se. It's 15 minutes of more footage, and it's gonna, the new release will have it. So I don't know if that 15 minutes is enough. From what I hear, there's like a lot more footage, that is supposedly, cut out of the movie. So do you want to guess that most of this is Joker stuff or what?
Who knows? I mean, maybe.
And then it's not, it's not really, they're not advertising it to be just like the Superman Batman, Ultimate Edition, it's just an extended edition. So it's different, and, I think they're still gonna, the way they're handling it makes it look like, oh, by the way, we have this version too. Not that this is the best version of it. You didn't really see the best version of it. The intent was not this. This is not the director's cut. Like,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it should be interesting, kind of.
So I'm curious to see what's in this, what's new. 15 minutes doesn't seem like that much, to really add to it, scene here and there. Now, of course, I think you remember the trailers for Suicide Squad had a lot of different scenes that were not really in the movie, or different. So,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
So, here's something interesting I just read from The Guardian, James. Now, I didn't even hear about this beforehand, so this is news to me that even existed. But, I'm getting older, so maybe I'm not paying attention. But apparently there is a Gummy Bears 3D movie that was supposed to come out. Now, what do you think of Gummy Bears, the product itself?
I eat them. That's all I have to say about it, really. I eat them, so
Yeah.
it's not like I'm obsessed with mine. I mean, occasionally eat them,
And they don't really have like a story or anything behind them. They're just edible things. That's it. They're not like,
Like making a movie about gummy worms, like what are the blue sharks gonna get their movie now? Is this gonna be an extended Gummy universe?
All right, so people have been talking about this. Apparently, the company they're getting sued because they said that John Travolta was going to be in this movie somehow, and this apparently they're going out of business now because they've been misleading the public, and there is not going to be a Gummy Bears 3D movie.
So it was all a lie?
So yeah, it was said that with no information, the producers claiming things were just, they expected money to come back, but it's just a big scam, and it's not actually happening. And
That's
people
actually
went back,
kind of hilarious.
yeah, it's funny and sad,
But it's also kind of like, that rarely happens when, like, something turns out to actually, like, just be a scam.
So,
You know what I mean?
yeah, it's literally a scam. It's not like rumors. No, it is a scam. It's
Yeah,
legitimately-
no joke. Not kidding at all. This is a scam. Like, it is.
All right, this is what the court ruled. This is what, quote, the court ruled that the public has been misled into making investments which were not made to know the truth, which was that around 89% of the investments was not going to the film production costs.
Woo. Yeah.
That's bad.
Shots fired, People are,
Yeah.
could you imagine going to jail for this? And you'd be like, oh, so what are you in for? I lied to the public and said that I was making a Gummy Bears movie.
Really? That's it? I raped 5 kids. Oh. You didn't have any Gummy Bears.
That's not going to go well.
I don't know if there's like a special prison for those kind of people or something. I don't know.
Special Gummy Bear prison?
No, I mean like white collar crime versus they get to that kind of prison instead.
You mean for offenses that like aren't really that bad?
Yeah, like it's I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen from this, but I just
I don't
read
know what's
that.
gonna happen to those people, but I wouldn't want to be them. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean it just one thing about Gummy Bears is that I don't know about you, but it gets me pretty constipated, so I don't like to eat them that often. Yeah.
Wow.
They kind of clump up,
Kind of flip up.
They kind of have their gummy revenge after you eat a bunch of them.
Gummy revenge.
You know what else is revenge? Good segue here. The War of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, the War of the Planet of the Apes.
Best
what do you
segue
think ever.
Oh, okay.
The monkeys are going to get their revenge. Yeah. So, what do you think about this franchise?
I love it. I adore these movies.
I kind of thought that the second one went in kind of interesting direction.
Yeah, okay. This is one of the first movies I think the second movie I gave a 10 to. I love this movie. And when I reviewed it, I was like, man, there's so much tension there. You know, you don't want to spoil anything in case people forgot about it, but there was just so much tension. You could cut it. It's a knife. And, okay, so we did get some information. IGN posted a really good interview. No spoilers. They just said a few confirmational things about the movie. They said that it takes place after the events of Dawn. The whole naming this is actually the one name that makes the most sense, because war makes sense. It's straightforward. Dawn and Rise. those names sound reversed. Like Rise should be the first movie and Dawn should be the second movie or whatever. I don't know. It's all confusing.
Yeah.
This one takes place after the second one. And, so Caesar is now upset about, the events from the second one. And now he knows there's no way back but to go have a war with humanity. And it takes place in the snowy mountains of the Sierras, which they confirmed that. And they confirmed that the main villain of the second movie is not going to be in this movie. So I'm not going to say who that villain was. You know who I'm talking about if you watch that movie. But he's not going to be in here. That story was settled there. People were talking about that after that movie came out. Oh, is he going to come back? Is he going to come back? Is that person, that character? No. That they confirmed that straight up. No. They're going to have new apes, and they're going to have new humans there too. So it's going to be a snowy mountain war movie, and Caesar is going to be Caesar ape, the first ape from the first apes movie, in this rebooted franchise. He's the one that's got the whole ball rolling of the revolution, and he's going to be the leader of this rebellion to really take over Earth. So I think this is going to be pretty exciting, and they say that he is really conflicted about his role, but he understands it has to be done now that there's no way back from the events from the second movie. So I'm really excited for this.
I mean, personally, it was kind of cool in the second one when they were like, all that, but you know what I mean? Like, I think it has potential to be a good third film. One interesting part about this reboot series, though, is that, like, it's not directly a reboot of the original film. It's like a reboot of the sequel of the original film or whatever.
Yeah. Because I think there was, like, another War of the Planet of the Apes again.
Yeah, there was. Because, like, and, like, the Planet of the Apes sequel, most of them are bad. I mean, in the original. But, yeah.
So far, this new version of the Planet of the Apes, I'm 100% in favor of. I love both movies. I think they're both well done, smart. And the one thing is, James, the second movie, I hated that 3D. They apparently looked like garbage. I almost wanted to walk out of the theater, but I loved the movie so much that I couldn't. And it didn't look good. And I was like, I'm at a Cinemark. This is a pretty good theater chain. It shouldn't be having such bad 3D visuals here. And it was really bad. So maybe this one they'll fix it, or maybe I don't know what's going on. But I mean, usually that theater is pretty spot on with the 3D. It's not some crappy place that doesn't have good 3D. It's a Cinemark. It's upper scale kind of place. And anyway, that 3D was terrible. So that 3D is terrible. It really was. I think that was one of my first reviews where I gave it a terrible 3D. I gave it a 10 out of 10 for the movie and terrible 3D, because I hated the 3D in that movie. It just didn't look sharp. It didn't do anything to the movie, and it just looked bad. So hopefully this one will look better. But, I'm very much looking forward to this. They also said that Woody Harrelson is going to be one of the main human characters here, and I really like him as an actor. So,
yeah.
I'm excited, and I think you're right 100%. At the Apes movies in the 70s and 80s, they went to hell. I'm sorry to say that. They were bad. The second one was just not anywhere as good as the first one. Charlton Heston made that first movie, and it holds up. The original Planet of the Apes holds up pretty well now, and I think it's a great movie still. All the rest of them, I think I watched them all, and they're just forgettable. They're just really preachy and really kind of just dumb, and it's just not good. So
Yeah.
these movies are better than the originals and better than that trash that was, the remake from, was it like 2003 or whatever?
Yeah. You mean by Tim Burton?
That was terrible.
Terrible?
I hated that movie.
what do you mean? That was good.
No, with the Abraham Lincoln? That was a hat. Abraham Lincoln. Terrible. It doesn't make any sense.
The freaking, oh man, that was a bad film.
Yeah,
Freaking, that was awful.
yeah. I really didn't like that movie. I think everyone pretty much agrees that one's pretty bad. Just stupid, and they made him look more realistic. Because they didn't use CG, they actually used makeup then.
Yeah.
But it didn't work because they looked it just looked weird, and you don't really believe it. It just didn't make sense. Whatever.
Yeah.
But these movies are great. So, all right, let's move on to our last topic here. So they're talking about Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, and they confirmed that this will be Alice's final journey, and that her story arc will finally be ended. And they're serious. This is going to be the last movie. They're not going to have the final chapter part 2 or part 3, or it's really going to be it. It's really going to wrap up everything after this. No more the Resident Evil movies will be totally different if they make any more of them. And I guess that's good. They've dragged that movie out way too long, and those movies are all really bad.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. They're bad, but are they really that bad?
Yeah, they're really bad. I love Resident Evil franchise, and even if they're trying to start up a new idea, it just doesn't make any sense. They made it so convoluted, so complicated, so it's just a mess to understand what is going on anymore and what happened, and there's clones and I don't know, it's just a mess of a franchise. It's always, leave things in cliffhangers, and they can come back to it, and you don't know, they don't really tell you what happened, and it's just, it's awful. Bad acting everywhere. The cutscenes in action are kind of fun. The 3D is always great, so that's kind of one of those things where I remember seeing that in 3D, and I was like, man, those rifles are coming out at you, and the zombies are coming out at you, and it looks. I think they shoot those in 3D, and it comes out in January, which is a really weird time for this movie to come out. You wouldn't think January zombie. January is usually a dead, literally a dead place for movies. No good movies come out in January.
I'm just sitting here waiting for the Universal Monsters climatic universe.
Ugh.
I mean, come on.
Ugh. Just be done with it. They're probably gonna make another Resident Evil movie after this, but they're gonna reboot it, and I'm fine with that. The Resident Evil games are kind of a mess too. And the story wise, the gameplay wise, it varies from game to game. I haven't played all of them, but 4 is one of my all-time favorite games of all time. It's awesome. You played through 4? No,
I haven't.
Oh my god, you gotta play through that. It's so good. The Wii version is fantastic. So I think you could download it on the Wii U Virtual Console for $10 or something, $20, and it's awesome. I highly recommend that. And it works really well with the Wii Remote, and it's scary, and it has a good, decent story to it, and really fun gameplay. And so, Resident Evil 4, I love. The movies are terrible. They're all garbage. My friend, James, I have a friend named Tom, and we used to review movies together before I did the website. And Tom, he always found a way to spin a movie to be a 10 out of 10. And it drove me crazy. Every movie was a 10 out of 10. I was like, come on, really? It's like, I remember we watched Green Lantern, and he was like, that's a 10 out of 10. I'm like, no, it's not. It's garbage. And anyway, after we left Resident Evil, he was like, so is that a 10 out of 10? I'm like, no, that sucks. You know, when someone that gives everything a 10 out of 10 can't even justify Resident Evil being a, the movie's really bad. This doesn't make any sense, and it's just stupid. Another stupid movie, James.
What?
Remember that Monster Trucks movie?
Yes.
So, coming out in January of next year, and apparently, they're already planning it for it to be a big loss.
Already?
They already know. So they're expecting to be $100 million in the hole for that movie.
Wow.
And it's just like, really? It hasn't even come out yet. It's like 3 months out. Why are you going to announce that you're already expecting it to be a massive failure before people see it? It looks really stupid, but you never know what movies become popular. It might be, January movie of the month, or, something else. It might be, you never know. Some things pop up and become huge hits. Never thought would be. And right now, it's going to be a massive failure. So apparently, what happened with that movie is that someone was making that movie, and they were watching over it, and they just have a massive budget. So it cost them way too much movie. Over $100 million to make that movie, and no one is there to stop them to say, what's going on with this stupid movie? Why are you spending so much money on it? So they're not expecting it to have a return of any kind. So, yeah, that's just they're just basically letting that out to release and make something back. They're not expecting anything back, and it's really weird, Like someone in the background were like, hey, where's that money going? Like, I don't know. Don't worry about it. Oh, no, that's like $100 million gone away. Where's this money going to? Oh, that Monster Truck movie? Man. Oh, man. So it was originally supposed to come out in May 29th, 2015. Then it got pushed back to Christmas 2015. Then it got pushed back to March 18th of 2016. And now it got pushed back to January of 2017.
Huh. Interesting.
So, yeah, it's, January is going to have that movie and Resident Evil for right now. So we may have a busy January, which usually doesn't happen. Usually it's pretty slow, like the first few months of the year. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a movie that we watch and we just laugh at, or if it'll be one of those movies that's just so bad that you just like, why am I wasting my time on it?
Who knows?
Who knows?
No.
It looks stupid, It might be one of those things that are just so stupid it's fun,
Yeah, maybe.
Like the Transformers movies. They're so stupid they're kind of fun.
The Transformers movies are bad, though.
Yeah.
They're legitimately terrible.
Well. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Alright, so that's going to wrap up this podcast.
Remember to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, love, whatever. Heart it, be something.
3D or 2D.com can be found on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and SoundCloud. And if you want to send us email, our email address is email3d or 2d at gmail.com. And thank you again for listening. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.